Okay, welcome back to part 3 of my Macedon Legendary campaign. We're going to jump right in where we left off last time. The AI faction that I started war with has decided to attack one of my walled settlements, so we're going to have here a siege battle. I had anticipated this maneuver by the AI, so I had moved my smaller army into this settlement. So I have some recruited troops and some garrison troops to help fight the battle. I almost always start off by bringing my ships into whatever harbor the city has, if it has a harbor, so I can get them off the boats as quickly as possible. They're not very useful on the boats, and I'm using the map here to locate the little corner map in the bottom right corner, using it to locate the AI forces, which, since this is a legendary campaign, I won't have that map in the battle. And standard fare for me, put the ranged units up on the walls, take whatever heavy and preferably pike or spear armed infantry I have, and load them up by the gate that I think the AI is going to try to push through.
Your orders. Infantry ready! Here we stand.
So, having deployed my troops, we start the battle, kick up the battle speed, and now we kind of want to watch and see which way the AI is going, and we see that it's sending one ladder off over in that other direction, so I'm taking my troops from the boat and sending them that way. As the AI approaches, I'm going to slow down the battle speed a little bit here.
Missile infantry.
Now, if any of my missile units on the walls had flaming shot or flaming projectiles, I would be using those, hoping to burn the ladder before it makes it to the wall. But as it turns out, these guys don't really, well, one, I don't have the flaming projectiles, and these guys don't really have a lot of men in the unit, so there's a good chance that they're going to rout before they ever get the ladder there. And of course that unit is running off into La La Land by itself. So I've routed one unit pushing the ladders, whoop-de-doo. The other two units are kind of bugging out on top of each other. This is a good example of what people complain about with the siege battles, but I'll be honest, sometimes the AI really outnumbers you, and if it played the battles with the walled settlements any better, you'd lose those settlements quite honestly a little bit more often if the AI was intelligent. I have seen the AI do some intelligent things with the walled battles, or the non-walled battles too, but it's very rare and atypical. And patch 8.1 was just released today, but I'd recorded this earlier in the week, so this is not 8.1 Siege yet. Hopefully we'll see some of that a little bit later. Hopefully we'll see some intelligent decisions. So those ladders were getting kind of dangerously close to my walls, so I sent out my melee units to deal with them, attack them while they push the ladders. That's a good strategy. And consequently, the remainder of the AI forces have started to move forward to deal with me coming out of the walls, and that unit is happy to get the ladder to the wall and then run off and join the rest of the troops. And I have ordered my melee troops back into the settlement, because now I'm going to wait for the AI to move forward and torch the gate, and then we're going to fight the blob battle at the opened gate. Just doing a little pan there of the battlefield to make sure that I don't have any surprises from the AI, that they're all where I think they are. troops are all where I think they are.
At the double! General! Operatives ready! Spears ready! Advance at speed! Javelin men! Missile infantry!
So here I'm trying to move some extra missile units up onto the wall. I had moved some other units off the wall because they have run out of ammo. Again, this is post commentary, not live commentary, so I'm just calling it like I see it after the fact, on the fly. So here we go, let's try and get those javelin men up on the wall. They were the ones that came in from the boat. Are they going to do the right thing? No, they're starting to run out through the gate. Sometimes the AI will bug out when you give units an order to move up onto the wall, and they'll try to run through the gate or do various things. I'd say 4 out of 5 times I don't have an issue with it, but in this particular settlement, probably due to the layout and the fact that the AI was right outside, it was becoming problematic, or who knows, maybe they were going to try to run through the gate and run up the ladder to get on the wall. Wouldn't that be fun? So I've positioned one unit as a roadblock right in front of the gate. I don't think I'd researched boiling oil yet in this campaign, but if you have boiling oil, this is where it really shines. And the AI is really giving my missile unit on the wall there a beating. It's a garrison unit though, so I don't care if I lose it. The only negative impact that unit will have is with a morale penalty to the rest of my army. So I'm still using the one unit there as a roadblock. I've got a couple of, since I couldn't get those javelin men up on the wall, I've just positioned them behind. And if you look at the unit cards at the bottom, you'll see that they are firing and taking fire. Here we go. Now I'm going to bring up some extra units and kind of create a pocket for the AI. You can see that my hoplites that are the roadblock there are about 70 or 80% unit strength. They're taking not a significant portion, but a fair amount of casualties. So my strategy here is to now create a pocket or a little bucket of my units, and to send the mob units in, and then fashionably retreat that hoplite unit, or hoplite. I'm going to use my Southern California accent and spelling and pronunciation. I'm just going to call them hoplites from now on. I'm going to pull that unit back in an organized manner and let the AI through, and then I'm going to swarm it from both sides. And we can see that one of my missile units, which I haven't really noticed yet, is caught up there in the melee. So there we go, there's the retreat order for that unit of hoplites. They're pulling back, they're wavering, because as they're moving backwards they're taking a lot of casualties. And it looks like they're routing. That's okay. Here we go, let's send the rest of my troops in. We've got a whole bunch of lower quality spearmen to send in as reinforcements. And a unit of javelin men is now routing, or has been. The mob men are routing. As I said, they're complete crap. I don't know if anybody watching this has any experience with Warhammer Fantasy tabletop miniature game, but there are units or troop types in that game that have stat modifiers or personality modifiers, however you want to call them, that make them unbreakable, which basically means they're crappy troops, but they make good roadblocks and they make good distractions, because if you can use them to tie somebody up in melee, it gives you time to maneuver the rest of your units. And in Rome 2, I use the mob garrison troops in that fashion. I will either use the mob troops as added weight to an existing melee, or I will use them and throw them into the enemy in some fashion to either tie up a couple of their units, or I will use the mob units to kite any enemy units that will pursue around the battlefield. They don't have to kill anybody to be useful, they just have to take them out of the fight, and you can still use them for that. Now here we see that because the AI units are surrounded by mine, once they made it through, they're starting to break due to morale penalties from being attacked in the flank and other things. Of course, I'm guessing. I don't really know that for certain, because when on Legendary, if you hover over the enemy unit cards, it won't show you anything about them. I think on the other difficulties it will. As the enemy melee begins to break and shatter and fall back, I just push through the gate with all my troops and basically swarm the missile units they have outside. I know that there's a lot of hope, or was a lot of hope, for 8.1 to fix things, and hopefully when I pick the gameplay back up and we get some siege battles, hopefully we'll see better behavior out of the AI. But even if it doesn't, this is what we have, and for me it's not a huge game breaking thing. I'm able to still enjoy the game despite it. So now the AI and I have switched roles, and basically his general there is the roadblock to me. And one thing you can do in this game, if you have a heavier weight of numbers, you can do what I just did there, where you select several of your units and you just keep issuing attack or move orders behind whatever enemy unit is in front of them, and they will use their mass and momentum to run through it. And as you run through the enemy unit, your troops begin to outnumber it, and basically the enemy unit will count your troops as surrounding it, and it will give it morale penalties, which is why his general unit suddenly broke so fast there, because I ran some cheap spearmen straight through the unit, tried to push him through and get him in the back, and the AI counts that as, oh no, I'm surrounded, better run. It is worth noting that if you do